What's good, everybody? It's your boy JB9 Deuce, representing JB's Speakeasy, the black platform where black men speak freely. Once again, I am your host, JB9 Deuce. I'd like to come to y'all right now. Thank you guys for sharing your time with me. It's always been a blessing to be able to do these shows. As you guys know, I went through my whole situation with the fire situation where me and my family, we lost everything. So I've been really trying to get back on my agenda of everything I had going, from my education right down to entertaining y'all. But today isn't going to be an entertainment today. Today's going to be more of edutainment, which means you can learn and have fun at the same time with information that's given, if it applies to your situation. Before we go any further, please, at the bottom of your screen, you're gonna, especially on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe. I need more followers to catch my followers back up. But in addition to everything that's going on with the fire, I have also found that I'm struggling with a certain thing that has to do with men's mental health, right alongside what I've been going through with the fires. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring it all back I'm gonna make it all come back together. But I would like to do this. Today's show is called Brave New World, the Anthony Mackie Perspective of Masculinity. I'll say it again, Brave New World, Anthony Mackie's Perspective on Masculinity. And I saw a portion of the interview, and it really drew an inspiration to me because it was going to touch on the subject that I was going to touch on, which is mental health, which is what this is going to be about. And I was hoping I had more people that could come on with me today and address some of the things that they went through. Before we get into this story, I agree. Anthony Mackie had made a great point. He said there is the death of masculine, American black, not just black, but American masculinity, and I'm in full agreement with him. But I believe there's many different factors as to why that is. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the interview. But I will say, before I get involved in all of that, I would like to say this. We need to start taking men's mental health very seriously. Why is this, Josh? Because the more society, because this is why I'm approaching it today. I'm approaching it from the side that attacks masculinity, because there's an attack on masculinity. Manly men, or men that were considered manly men, or the John Henry types, those type of Jack Johnson types, that's hated on in America. You know what I'm saying? The idea of masculinity is made to be demonized into this very atrocious thing. And I am diametrically opposed to the presentation of how black, not just black men, but men today are made to look. And it's funny because I want to talk about men's mental health, because everybody wants to always have something to say about a man, especially a black man. They always have something to say about it. Either you're not working hard enough, you're sassy, you're this, you're that. All these terms, whenever a man decides to stand on this thing called masculinity, because in today's society, the idea of masculinity has been redefined as toxic, every attribute that makes us actually tough enough to handle situations. You know what I'm saying? To handle the situation in this thing we call life. But before I go into a complete tangent, I'm going to bring up the Anthony Mackie interview, but I would like to say this. The more we ignore men's mental health, the more dangerous this world's going to be. Because the more we keep telling men that they don't matter, or you're only here to pay bills, you're only here to do this, you're only here to do that, the more we treat men like robots instead of people, and acting like we can't feel pain, and if you feel pain, then you're sassy, as we get dismissed. People I hate those terms because they're dismissive. Too many people are dismissive, especially towards the black male experience. But before I go on, y'all know I love to talk. So before I do that, I would like to bring up the interview, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna zoom in mostly when it comes to the part about, I'm gonna chime in and zoom in the video when it comes to the part we talk about masculinity. But this is one of the best parts of this too, because he's talking about what we pass down to the next generation. Because that is what men do, especially when they have children. We want to look out and pass things on to the next generation. It's even in the Bible that what inheritance comes from fathers, it says in the Proverbs. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let Mackie, because he's actually, I don't have kids, but I know if I don't have kids, I don't want to pass down wisdom to them and information to them that they can learn, benefit, and gain some understanding of this thing we call life. But anyway, here we go. Once again, hit the like, subscribe. But as for right now, I'm going to play the Anthony Mackie interview. Let's do it.
We tell our kids that and this is fresh on my heart. Like I literally just came to this conclusion last night. We tell our kids if they do right and they make the good grades and they go to the programs and they will become successful. If you work hard enough, your work will be paid off. And that's not true. Success is given. It's not earned. Because you can be the most brilliant motherfucker. If one person don't tap you, each one of y'all. There were people who could hit harder, who could catch better, who could run faster. But somebody said, you're the one. And the other 50 behind you fell off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because of that, I don't know what that emotion or that feeling is the scary thing. Because I went to all the programs. I've done Broadway. I've done off-Broadway. I've been in the business 24 years. I've been in 2 Academy Award films. I've done independent films. I've done major motion pictures. Now I'm Captain America. So now what? I should be the lead of the next Spike Lee movie. So I should be starring opposite Denzel. Because that's what happened with everybody else.
So to that thought process.
Let's stop right there, guys. I want to comment on that. Anthony Mackie said that in America, we have lied, especially to Black people, basically said to our community that if you work hard, you get this. No, he said success is not worked for, it's given. Meaning this is a lot of stuff dealing with something called nepotism, meaning my daddy is this, my daddy is that, right? Much like the LeBron James and the Bronny James situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have to be good enough to, play, but part of that is that's who your dad is. Feel me? Excuse me. So my point being is, I understand his perspective, but what that creates is a reality in which men because what he's speaking on is something that I'm going through, how you can give your all and give your damnedest and things still not work out for you. That's what it sounds like he's saying, give your damn. And this is one of the things that wears on men's mental health, especially. Let me give you I feel that personally what he's saying, because I'm the type that then tried everything, put my efforts into a lot of things, and a lot of things didn't come out the way it was supposed to. Listen, most of y'all knew that. Y'all know my name, Jay Brill. It came from when I was rapping, right? No one can tell me and my friends wasn't hustling hard when it came to music. We was all up on Hollywood Boulevard, passing out mixtapes. We spent thousands of dollars at the studio. We was up all night, sometimes 3 and 4 in the morning, arriving at the studio at 7 p.m., don't leave till 3 and 4 in the morning, dropping tracks. On fire for this thing we call hip-hop. None of y'all have heard me as well, except the people that stay in my city know that I'm a rapper. Why? I did not make it. Was it because I didn't work hard? No. Sometimes these things just happen. But the problem is, that's the reality of the world today. Sometimes we can give your damnness and still fail. And instead of the world sympathize or even empathizing with you don't have to feel me, but at least understand me. They will take every opportunity and take shots from every direction for anybody who failed at something they're trying to do, instead of putting like, no, bro, pick yourself up. We can do this. You can do it. Have somebody in your corner. Most men don't have anybody in their corner. And due to that reason, especially in the Black community, nepotism is out, because most of that, not in all cases, but a lot of it has to do with like fathers passing on stuff to their children. And in the Black community, we have a fatherless problem. Let's keep it 100. Feel me? And being able to pass down things like an inheritance. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is, when you have a man that then tried everything, did his hardest, tried to put in everything to make things work, and it still fall through, that can cause a man's, remember the title of the show, Brave New World, but men's mental health. It will drive you insane. The thought of, I've done every freaking thing I could think to make something of myself, and stuff still didn't work out. Do you know how disheartening it is to put your heart in everything that you do and still not get what you deserve out of it? So I agree with what Anthony Mackie is saying. Success isn't earned. It's given. It literally is given, because you can do and I know that personally. But anyway, let's back to the interview.
Why are you the one? It's the craziest thing, man. He brought up Tupac. I don't think you did a great job of being Tupac.
That's fair.
I tell you, because you were younger. It was years ago.
That's fair.
So why are you the one, even speaking on that, why are you the one that, I don't know, chosen to be that dude? But, bruh, you that dude.
Diligence, Prime example, when I went up to New York to audition for Juilliard, it was a consortium audition. So it was like 100 schools in New York just auditioning kids who want to go to school for theater. They told you prepare 2 monologues, a contemporary, a classical, a comedic, and a serious monologue, and a 2-minute clip of a song. So to me, I prepare 15 monologues and 4 songs.
Dang.
Wow. So when I walk into my audition, I'm ready. You know what I mean? So everybody else do their 2 monologues, and they're like, oh, that didn't go well. They asked me if I had something else, and I was like, no. And my goal, my realization, my teacher told me, always get them to ask you more. Because once they start asking you, that means they're interested. Once they start talking to you, they didn't say goodbye, have a good day. Every audition I've been in, I do the audition. That's when it's like, where you from? What you doing? Now I know you're interested.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my 8 Mile audition. Dude, I never even read for the director. I went into the room. I had my sides. I was ready. It was Curtis Hanson, God rest his soul. Molly Finn was the casting director, God rest her soul. And I had done nothing. She saw me in a play about Tupac called Up Against the Wind off Broadway, which Tupac's mother and sister came to and loved.
I still don't like how you play Pop.
So I do the play. Molly Finn sees the play. She's like, I want you to come in and audition for Curtis for this movie that we're doing. I'm like, bet. So I go in like 2 weeks later, audition. So Curtis Hanson had just released a movie called Wonder Boys with Tobey Maguire, right? I was a Tobey Maguire fan at the time. So I walk in, I'm like, yo, Kurt, I just need to ask you a question, bro. I'm like, Wonder Boys was like an ode to Hitchcock. He's like, what do you mean? I said, the moving formats in the background, the thought process of the character being emulated in the scene and the movements behind him. I'm like, were you like, was that a conscious decision? And he looks at me, he's like, stop the camera. Who told you that? I was like, nobody, I just see it. Like when I watch a Hitchcock movie, when I watch Lambs of the Slaughter, every time a certain woman is on screen, you have birds of prey. Other women, you have doves and like pheasants or fowls. So one of them is the aggressor, one of them is the prey. You know what I mean? So we go back and forth and we talk for like 45 minutes about this movie and about Hitchcock. 2 weeks later, I get a call and it's Curtis. He goes, yo, Mekhi Phifer decided to do the movie. So he's going to be in that role, but there's a smaller role. I said, I'm in. He's like, but you have to, I'm in. I'm like, I get to hang with you on set? I'm in. So every day on set, I'm next to Curtis Hanson. Every day on set, he's coming to me, showing me a shot list, showing me all the stuff, because now we have that connection. Now I got him talking. So a lot of people don't know Papa Doc was three scenes and 4 lines. I was supposed to be there a week. After that week, he would say, you have something else to do? I was like, nah. He made a Schedule F, run a picture, and he added all those scenes for that character.
Really?
Yeah. That was never in the script.
I love listening to you talk because you like all my homeboys.
Yeah.
Right? Like we just all the same.
Right.
And I listened to what you said though about we are doing our kids a disservice. We're lying to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would always say that people are lying to their kids when they tell them they can be whatever they want to be. Because you actually can't be whatever you want to be. Right. Some things you don't have the potential to be.
Absolutely.
Right? And the thing that I got a lot growing up was you have to be twice as good. You have to be twice as smart. You have to work twice as hard. You have to know twice as much. That was your life.
Right.
Right? You were, I was at Easton, but I'm going to go to NOCA. I was at NOCA, but I'm going to go to North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina. Now I'm going to go to Juilliard. You did all of those things.
Right.
But there's still a proving ground for you that's going to be a different proving ground for someone of a different skin color that would have done the exact same things that you've done. But then you are now Captain America. Mm-hmm. What's more difficult? Convincing people that you are the correct replacement for one of Marvel Universe's truly just standout franchise faces, Chris Evans, or convincing the world that Captain America can be black?
I don't think it's a question of convincing people or convincing the world. My biggest hurdle was convincing myself. When you're given a huge opportunity like that, you have to take into consideration the possibility that you might fail. You might get out there and lay an egg. So for me, I knew if I got the role, if they decide, because I never thought they was going to give me Captain America. We had a perfectly good Captain America in the role, doing a great job. Like, you know what I mean? So why me? You know, and that was one of the hardest parts. I never saw it happening. So when it happened, I was in shock. But then I got afraid. So then I had to lean on those teachers and those people around me who got me to that point. It was hard because I never figured out, and I still haven't figured out, what is there to convince people of. And that's why I say we're doing our kids a disservice. Like, I went to all those programs. I did all those movies. Everybody knows my resume. So who the fuck are you to question if I can do this? If you go to a hospital and a doctor has 100 successful surgeries and you're going in for that surgery, what you gonna say? I don't know if you can do this one, bro. You might, your hand looking a little shaky. No, I'm a professional. I'm a master of my craft. I did the math. I put in 10,750 hours of training before I had a job. So if you ask, anybody that makes you a master of your craft.
Why you ain't take the serum? Bro, I text you as soon as I walked out the movie. I was like, Harrison Ford was kicking your ass. You should have
threw that little thing. That nigga slapped that little thing. He said, uh-oh.
And the stuff on Instagram, the videos where like the little people will be throwing the javelin and then it would be like a toothpick that gets stuck. That's what he looked like at the end fight Harrison Ford.
Harrison, 92 years old, was slapping that little shit out there.
But like in following your career though, I've seen you talk about things that Morgan Freeman has told you, things that Samuel L. Jackson has shared with you. Like you said, you've been in these movies, whether it's, $1 Million Baby, you've been in Hurt Locker, all of these things that people have won awards in, and movies that have won awards. What's something that you learned through art, through making films, through what you do for a career or living that's truly stuck with you?
It's interesting. Like, you look at cats, and I feel like in order to get better, you have to work at your craft. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not acting, you're not going to become a good actor. And you see cats who get famous and all of a sudden they're selling watches and duty free. And they so into selling watches, they ain't acting no more. Yeah. You see a dude do a movie, and all of a sudden he has an Instagram following. So he's so famous on Instagram, he ain't doing movies no more. He ain't doing theater no more. Like, I think it says a lot. Denzel's an interesting cat to me. And I've always watched him from afar and kind of not tried to emulate, but pay attention to his career and his choices. And it's informed me a lot. And when you look at it, it poses a lot of questions. But Denzel is on Broadway right now doing Othello.
Grinding.
Denzel's working. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, at one point, Denzel was on, and this was the most amazing point of my career. James Earl Jones was on 48th Street doing On Golden Pond. I was on 46th Street doing McReal, and Denzel was on 44th Street doing Julius Caesar. So at the end of my show, I would go out and go up to 48th Street and literally sneak in the back door and watch the end of James Earl Jones on Golden Pond. Then I'd come down 6th Avenue, go to 44th Street, and I'd see Denzel finish his play, and then he'd come out there, and everybody in the audience would come outside, 1,000 people outside, and stand there and line up. And he'd come out the stage door, and he signed every single program, right? Of all the people who came to the show. So one day I had the opportunity to meet him. I was like, you ain't tired of that? He goes, I used to pick up garbage. Like, he was a real life garbage man. He said, if I have to sign programs to never pick up garbage again, I'm gonna sign these motherfucking programs. And that blew my mind. That really put everything into perspective for me. It gets to a point to where the student is now the pupil. So somebody coming for your job. And I think that's where it gets tricky. Like, now I call and I'm like, what's up, man? You got some time? Nah, I'm busy. Damn.
Hey, he Othello, man. He did say, though, when they were doing all the gladiator stuff, he said you learn to act on stage, on Broadway. Yeah. He said he didn't learn to act through film, and like, you've gotten opportunities to do those things too, and continue to grow.
Now, stage is a dangerous beast, dude. It's addictive because literally you get the same show, same blocking, same script every day. So now you got to be conscious enough and present enough to be able to make the tweaks in real time to affect the audience. And you got to be able to listen to the audience to where some audience is going to laugh at every joke. Some audience is going to be quiet. You got the old people that come to the theater just to sleep. You do, real rap. You do Shakespeare. You have these fucking old people that come there with the script and they watch the play like this. So it's like a read along to these motherfuckers. So if you get locked working.
Okay, guys, I want to go back a little bit, and I want to go back to a specific spot, but we're going to start back here at 24 minutes because he said something very powerful in this area.
You know what I mean? Like at one point, Denzel was on, and this was the most amazing point of my career. James Earl Jones was on 48th Street doing On Golden Pond. I was on 46th Street doing McReal, and Denzel was on 44th Street doing Julius Caesar. So at the end of my show, I would go out and go up to 48th Street and literally sneak in the back door and watch the end of James Earl Jones on Golden Pond. Then I'd come down 6th Avenue, go to 44th Street, and I'd see Denzel finish his play, and then he'd come out there, and everybody in the audience would come outside, 1,000 people outside and stand there and line up. And he'd come out the stage door.
One of the great things about this interview is I could see Anthony Mackie's dedication to acting. The fact that he's given all these experiences and what he had to do to get on sounds a lot of my grind when I was doing music. Even with the social media, what did I do? When I tried to understand how to do, because when I was coming up, having stage performance was a little bit of my thing. So what did I do? I went to the local rap shows and seen how other rappers get on stage, how they get their winning showcases, and how did they get on stage? How were they able to go about, making it to a certain point in their career? And I would do the same thing, try to get around as many different groups of rap groups as possible, try to basically see what people could share with me to help me get on and to critique my craft in the same, the same time. So I understand kind of how that is, but let this brother speak for a minute. Okay, it's taking a while to get to the part where I wanted him to talk, because now he's going a little bit into his whole experience while in theater, which is good. But I just want to concentrate on, like I said, the theme. The theme of today's show is the Brave New World. Now, I did that as a reference to the fact that Anthony Mackie is the actor in this movie called Brave New World. But the thing is that I'm going to put emphasis on the new world. We live in a new world in which masculinity is attacked, but it's attacked by people who don't either, one, understand masculinity, or two, there's an agenda at play. The agenda, I believe, is to destroy masculinity. Yes, it has a feminist undertone, but it also is a way of making a nation weaker, because any nation where the men are soft and the men aren't in their right mind and where the men are destroyed, because that's what happens when you get your mental. Let me turn the camera back on. This is what happens when men lose, I don't want to say lose our minds, but can lose our way, or we lose sight of what's important about masculinity. I want you to pay attention. When it comes to every nation, every society, everybody, when it talks about manhood, you know what? I'm ending this stream. I'm not feeling it.